video about session cycles and how and what do I look for when I get into the markets. So my plan was not to record any more videos about session cycles, as many of you were already doing it much better. So there were two persons that had some issues with it. So basically, the time that I look for trades is somewhere like before 10 to 15 minutes before the London kill zones. So this is when I get to my charts and look for potential sweeps on pairs like the dead trade like Euro USD, US 30, Pound USD, and I have added odd USD as well in my watch list during December. So this is Euro GBP, and basically what happens on Euro GBP is on different pairs like odd USD. In odd USD, your Asian ranges would be 30 pips, 40 pips, and like 70 pips even. I was just backtesting Audio Z, and what I saw was the Asian ranges were bigger than the London kill zones. So if you have Asian ranges bigger, like more than 50 pips or 40 pips, then you need to change your pair or don't trade that particular pair on that day. So what happens on Euro GBP is the Asian ranges are very like way too small. So you have more potential to get entries on Euro GBP. That is why I have added it in my watch list. So as soon as I get to my charts, I will look for the sweeps that had already happened on pairs. Like this was the Asian highs that were swept over here, and I was looking for market structure shift and a fair value gap for entry. Okay, so this was the downward trend on lower time frame, I can say. So we have the market structure shift, and we have cleared the buy side liquidity, we have cleared everything above, right? But what happens over here is we do not have any fair value gap. The last fair value gap that we have is below the 0.50%. So this was the equilibrium, and the last fair value gap the fair value gap is below the equilibrium, so we won't be using that one, and this high will automatically become the liquidity point for us. So as this was the liquidity point, we will be waiting for this to be swept and then wait for our entries. Now after this highs, we have this lows that was broken over here, and we have a fair value gap for our entry. Now you are having issues with your stop loss, to know what pair like how to use the stop loss on specific pairs. Currently I am on Euro GBP, right? So I don't know if it respects my stop loss if I put it above the fair value gap candle or below the fair value gap candle. So or the candle behind the fair value gap candle. So all of this you would know is when you backtest that specific pairs. So let's see, I have backtested like Euro USD, so I know that like 70 to 80% of the times Euro USD respects the stop loss if it is above the fair value gap candle or the candle before the fair value gap candle. So that is the reason that I use stop loss above the fair value gap candle. But currently in this scenario, we don't know if these pairs if this pair, this euro gbp, except like if we put our stop loss like somewhere over here, right, like we normally used to do on euro usd. So we know euro usd respects that stop loss, like if we place our stop loss above the fair value gap candle, so we know that euro usd respects it, right? So this is euro gbp, and we don't know like if it respects it or not. So but what we basically do is to put our stop loss if you have any order block or any high. Like if there was not any order block over here, what I would have done is put my stop loss over here, but we do have an order block over here. So this is why my where my stop loss is gonna be above the order block wick, right? Now after this entry, my target would be the, as usual, the 5 hour and the low of the Asian session. So this was the entry. It was 8 hour, and after that, do we see any fair value gap and immediate reaction? So after this liquidity swap of lows of the Asian session, we don't have any immediate reaction, but this was the extreme fair value gap that was tagged like after 1 hour. So this was not the immediate reaction, but let's say it took a loss over here, and after that there was this bpr. It was not tagged on immediate basis, but this was if you took this as a fair value gap, so this was a reaction on the fair value gap, but we do like the market structure shift should have been over here, because we do not have any lower high. So London kill zone stopped over here, right? Closed over here, right? So this was the low that we would be looking for price to sweep, and then look for buys above the London kill zone highs, right? So after this, what do we have? We have this build up that is known as trendline liquidity, right? And what do we look for? A fair value gap for our entries. This is your market structure shift as well. So this was the extreme fair value gap that you had, and this could have been your entry. This could have been your stop loss. As I said, you could have put your stop loss over here if this was your USD, but in this case our stop loss would be below the order block. So where should my first target be? The 5 hour, and my next target would be the London kill zone highs. So that basically turned out to be 10 from here, including that loss, and 8 from here. So I would suggest you guys to check Euro GBP if you don't find any entries on Euro USD or US30. Okay, so I have been backtesting this as well, and I will share the results of my backtesting of like previous 6 months as well. So I've been on charts from like 12 hours right now, and it's like 2 a.m. over here, and I'm currently still backtesting it, so I thought I should make a video on it as well. So this was the last video for the session cycle. If you have any questions, you can ask me in private, and then I'm gonna do the Zoom sessions on it privately, because what I see is mostly like majority of you have understand the concepts. The only reason for me for teaching this is that it includes every like concept from ICT. Like instead of doing one video on like power of 3, what power of 3 is: accumulation, manipulation, and distribution. So in this scenario, let me show you what it is. Let's say, as all of you know that forex market opens at 00, like this 12, this, right? So market opens over here, you have your accumulation, right? Accumulation means is like the price ranging, right? And this happens after the Asian session, because our Asian session closes at 00. Okay, after accumulation, what do we have? We have the manipulation, right? Let's take this as a buying days, right? And this is a daily candle. Okay, I'm showing you this as a daily candle. Now this is the manipulation where the big hedge funds and banks, they took out this sellers and all of the sell side liquidity, and they are buying below the, like they are buying below the retailers as well, because this is where the retailers would have been buying, right? This is their support. So they took out the retailers, and this is where they are buying. Okay, after they would put their orders over here, what they would do is, now this is known as distribution. What distribution is, this is your accumulation, right, inside a range. This is your manipulation, took out the liquidity, and this is your distribution, a huge move towards the opposite direction after the manipulation. So basically the target for your distribution would be the previous order block or fair value gap, or like BPR and stuff. All of this is known as PD array. So if you look closely, this is how our session cycle works, right? Let's say you have your Asian session, you have this swept, and after this liquidity swept, you have your entries, and after the entry your target would have been the opposite side of the session. So this is how, like, same the session cycle works as well. So for your entries on this accumulation, manipulation, distribution, your entry should have been inside this manipulation zone. If you have any manipulation after the this range, like the ranging period, your entries would have been inside this manipulation zone, and your target would have been the previous uh, like fair value gaps or order blocks and stuff. So this is like a concept that we will use on lower time frames after, if we like use the 90-minute cycles. So this was the last video for this, and what I would suggest you guys is to backtest this as much as you can, because what we are doing is we are testing the 90-minute cycles, and what basically happens is the win rate is like alright, but not up to the mark. Like the win rate is not above 90, or I can say, or like 100%. But the risk to reward is not as much as we do have on the session cycles, because what I have seen is the risk to reward is basically 1:5 or 6, and we trade only in like during the after 1 hour of the New York kill zone, and we close at the 14. So basically we only trade for, let me count, 540. That's it. So we trade only for 8 hour in the market. So all of that consists of like only the New York session. So we will find like less entries than this, and our risk to reward would be pretty much messed up. So for that reason, I want you to focus on this first. So once we clear our doubts on this, I will teach you guys in 90 minutes as well, and all of the concepts from ICT himself, like the power of three and the three drive pattern, and there are like couple of more. So this entry model, this is also known as Judah swing. If you don't have this Asian session, but if you took this buy side liquidity and you have this market structure shift fair value gap entry, this entry model is known as Judah swing. So this is what ICT teaches in his like majority of the videos, and in the 2022 mentorship. So this is known as turtle soup or Judah swing.